Panie i panowie, przywitajmy naszego drugiego gościa, Matt Dubiel, który jest republikańskim kandydatem na pozycję senatora Stanów Zjednoczonych, który również walczył o wolność dzieci i naszą przez ostatnie 2 lata. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our second guest, Matt Dubiel, a Republican candidate for U.S. Senate. So hope you have a future senator. I really do. Thank you, Matt, for coming and for everything you have done for the past few years.
So Nowego. My grandfather came here, actually great-grandfather came here from Poland, Albert Dubiel, early 1900s. His first son was Archie, my grandfather. And Archie taught me about family. Archie had 6 kids and was a bus driver. He was the first one born in the United States of America. And I look a little bit like Archie, but a little more tan maybe. My children are here tonight, and I just want to share and introduce you to them. Anthony is my oldest. He's 20. Natalie is my number 2. She's 18. Rocco is over there. And we have one more. The baby is at home, and she's not feeling so good. She would like to be here also. Her name is Stella, and she's 10 years old. And I learned from Archie that family is everything. And my children are everything. How many parents do we have in here? Where are the kids at? I saw some kids. Okay, so the kids are number 1 in my family. And I don't mean that we spoil them. I mean that we look out for them. And so my wife and I, during this COVID period, had a lot of problems with what was going on with our kids. And they were forced to wear masks. We asked for a medical exemption. We were denied. We asked for a religious exemption. We were denied. And so we hired Tom DeVore, the guy that was just here. And thanks to Tom DeVore, and thanks to the other parents that decided to stand up, my 2 children, first Rocco and Natalie, were the only 2 children in their high school of 4,000 without a mask on. Imagine, yeah. I think they deserve a round of applause because we had these conversations with them about, well, what are we going to do if we get our way? What are we going to do if we win? What's going to happen? Now you have to go to school with 3,998 other kids wearing masks, looking at you like you're the weird one. Asking why aren't you going with the flow? Why are you swimming upstream? That's what life has been like. Anybody else been going through something like that in your family, in your life? Yeah. And so we would come home and I would sit down with my wife and we would get frustrated and I would say, why is no one else standing up? Why isn't anybody else saying anything? You know why. Work, friends, community. What are they going to say? And it occurred to me that it's because we don't have representatives representing us. We don't have people in our community standing with us. We don't have people at the school board meetings. In order for something to be said, you have to say it. And you have to take a step forward and be out there. And not everyone can do that. That's why we're supposed to have representatives. Not just in the government, but in real life. How many felt like you wanted somebody to have your back before you knew about, Tom DeVore or other people? How many felt like, gosh, we should have somebody standing up for us? And the governor doesn't stand up for us. And the mayor of the big city doesn't stand up for us. And the senators, Tammy Duckworth and Dick Durbin, don't stand up for us. In fact, they all stand together. It's time for them to go. So this is the year. This is the year to get rid of the people that didn't stand up for our children. Could all the children stand up for a second so we can see all the kids that are here? Rocco, you too. Now, yeah. Look at these beautiful kids. You too, I see you over there. Come on. Yeah, these children are worth standing up for, even if their friends don't know it yet. Even if the other families don't know it yet. They're the most important thing in the world because they need to learn what is right and what is okay. And during this period of time, these last 3 years, we weren't getting together at church. We weren't getting together at school. We weren't getting together. But the liquor stores were open, and the casinos were open, and the dispensaries were open. And they said, don't get together with grandma and grandpa, and no funerals, and no weddings. And so what happens during that period of time is the elders, the people that teach you everything, don't get to teach you, hey, wait a minute, why are you going along with this? Archie, if he was around during this, might have said, why are you guys doing this? Why are you going along with this? And we did because everybody else did. So I started to take a look at this Senate race. We have a big election here next Tuesday. How many know about the election on Tuesday? Has anybody voted yet? Okay, we have some people. Is anybody gonna vote on Tuesday? Beautiful. Not a lot of people are voting because it's right before Independence Day. So at this point, what we really need is a lot of people like you. We were passing out shirts earlier, and somebody said, I said, give 3 to each person. In fact, we have t-shirts in the front, we have cards, we have things for you to take to people you know. Because everybody in here knows 5 more people, 10 more people, 20 more people. We all have very powerful devices that can reach a lot of people very fast, faster than ever before. That is what it's time for now. It's time to reach out to the other people that maybe aren't voting. Because we all know probably a lot of people that have no plans to vote. Anybody know people that aren't voting on June 28th? So we need you to reach out to them. If you're excited about Tom DeVore, I need you to reach out to them and say, we like this guy. Here's what he did. Check him out. You don't even have to get political with people, because I think that's part of what's gotten in the way. People don't like to talk about politics. You're taught, don't talk about religion, don't talk about politics, right? But it's serious now. Would you agree it's getting serious? So now is the time for our children to say, all right, I'm going to text my friends and I'm going to tell them about this guy, Tom DeVore, that I'm interested in. I'm going to text my friends and tell them about this man that I met with his kids named Dubiel. So what does this guy stand for? How about medical freedom and privacy for everybody? Not just our children, because if they get our children used to going along with this, the next step is they will become adults and it will just become the way. I'm concerned about our elders. I'm concerned about our parents. I'm concerned about our veterans and the medical procedures they may need and the freedoms that they're going to require. So medical freedom and privacy, you should be able to go to work and they should stay out of your medical business. It's none of their business. How many agree? Okay, so number 2, how many think that we should have better police and military again? We should be supporting law and order in our country. We should be eliminating crime. We should be prosecuting criminals and treating the good people like good people, not like criminals. So that's thing number 2. How many remember a couple of years ago when we had the best economy we've ever seen and we were energy independent? That's what we need. And that's another thing that we stand for and I stand for here. How many would like to secure the southern border and make sure that we don't have people coming in and bringing drugs and disease and human trafficking? We need to fix that border, and we need to make it so we're not enticing people to come over the border, even if we don't have the wall finished, which we already funded. How many people want the United States of America back? United States. Me too. So what can a senator do for you? Like Tom was saying, not too much. But here's some things that I promise to do. Number 1, I am not going to vote. So the senator, one of the senators, which is what I would be voting on behalf of Illinois in the Senate. So when they put big bills, 3,000-page bills, and they pass them without reading them, I won't do that. I'll read the bill first. Seems pretty simple, right? Basic. Number 2, the lady that we have right now, Tammy Duckworth, she doesn't show up a lot. So very simple again, I'll show up for the votes. But you shouldn't get special credit for that. More importantly, that's just like it comes with the territory. It's your job. You got to show up. That's like what we teach our kids. So more importantly than that, is when there's funding for Planned Parenthood hidden in these bills, I will vote no. That's my personal perspective. That's what I will be voting every time. When there is an attack on our Second Amendment, I will be voting no. The no vote is going to become more important now than ever before because they're attacking the freedoms that we already have. They're trying to come after and make things that we do, good law-abiding citizens, illegal, while the people that break the laws are set to roam free. And that's got to stop. How many are sick and tired of crime increasing in our areas? So we also need somebody to stand up and say what is right and represent people in the public forum. I'm talking about on television. I'm talking about in the media. I'm talking about having somebody to represent you that you can say, that's my guy or girl. One or the other. Guy or girl. I would be the guy. So you would have somebody like, how many people like Rand Paul? Anybody watch Rand Paul? Yes. Or Ron DeSantis. Okay, so somebody that would stand up and say, no, this is not right. And you may not be able to control that completely from a senator's perspective, but you can at least stand up and point over if we still get stuck with a bad governor, or if we still have other people in the state of Illinois, the mayor of Chicago, and say, that is not right. And not enough people are doing that. Would you agree? The world has gotten turned upside down, so we need medical freedom and medical privacy. We need energy independence. And we need to get our fellow Americans out to vote June 28th. So there's some other people here that are very kid-oriented, education-oriented, and kid-friendly that I would like to acknowledge and talk about, because there's other races that people aren't paying attention to. Everybody knows there's a governor's race, right? June 28th. Now you know there's a senator's race, even though they don't talk about it on the news. If you haven't noticed, they're not really talking about it much. There are some other races that are very important. How many people here live in the 6th Congressional District, or do you know? Yes. Okay, a couple. There's a man here from the 14th. Jack, would you stand up for a second? Jack Lombardi is here. Jack is a fierce defender of children, medical freedom, and all the things pretty much that I just talked about, but I don't want to put words in his mouth. And you should know about Jack because Jack is running for the 14th district, and he's in my district, to replace Lauren Underwood. You ever heard of her? She's got to go. She's another one that's got to go. So please, I encourage you to look at the maps and look where you live, because the first thing you're going to see on your ballot on the top of the ticket is United States Senate. Then you're going to see governor and attorney general. Then you're going to start seeing things that are more locally focused. The locally focused offices are the most important. We all think, we're all taught, the media tells us that president is important and governor is important. That's because that's where all the money is. That's where all the advertising is. There's big money in advertising for those races. There's not big money in advertising for some of these other races. So, Senate, yes, you have a guy to look at. Congress, if you're in the 14th, please take a look at Jack and all the candidates in there and find the one that fits for you. Those races are the ones that we all didn't pay attention to these last 3 years, or 7 years, or 10 years. And that's part of the reason why we had the problems we had. How many have heard what's going on in our schools with CRT and early sex ed and alt sex ed and have had enough of that? Okay. I stand against those sorts of things. Jack stands against those sorts of things. Another important position is the regional superintendent of schools. Have you heard of that office before? I had never heard of it before, like a couple months ago. You all know that there's school board members and things like that. If you're in Will County, or you know somebody in Will County, Elizabeth, please stand up. Elizabeth Caproli-Ruff is running for regional superintendent of schools. Okay, this position is the most important position for people who have children in the schools. If you're not in Will County, tell the parents you know in Will County. I live in Will County. Thank God we have somebody running for that position. We haven't had somebody running from that position from a conservative, common sense mindset for 10 years, a decade. Think about that. A decade. That's why they're screwing with our curriculum and they're messing with our children's minds, because we're allowing these people with these warped ideologies to get into those offices. We have to make a change. We have to get it from the top down. We got to get congressmen and women in. We got regional and superintendents of schools in there. We have to do that. So Will County, how many people are in Will County? And if at all, we got some in the back. Okay, DuPage County. Please find out who your regional superintendent of schools are and who's running on the conservative side of things, because the people that are not are all in on this other stuff that is bad news for our children. Lastly, since we're amongst Polish people, how many people speak Polish here? Most. So just really quickly, because I know this person is going to be speaking on her own, but I was debating getting into this race, and I was driving around, and I was thinking, should I do this, should I not? Is this a bad idea? Is this going to be tough? And, going, like, you make those decisions in your head. And I'm flipping around the radio, and I turn on the radio, and I hear a candidate on a radio show. And she speaks English, but she's got, like, a little bit of a Polish accent. And I'm debating, right? I'm thinking, like, am I going to do this thing or not? Is this going to be really tough? And I hear her fiercely talking about how she is going to run for Congress and what she's going to do and how she's fed up with things. And I got home and I called my family and I talked to my wife and I said, I'm going to do it because I just heard this person, Maggie, and I didn't know how to say her first name. How do you say it? Yeah, what she said. And I thought, she's doing this, and she is fierce, and she's lit up, and she's ready to go. It's the parents that are getting involved. It's the regular people that are getting involved. And so Maggie is an inspiration to me, as well as these other people that are here. And I hope that you all will consider how great it is to have regular people running for regular offices, because those are the people that we can trust, at least to get started. And then, like Tom says, we have to stay on them. We have to make sure they don't get, lured into the political ways. And I think most of these good people won't. So June 28th, what we really need is for you to tell more people. There's about 500,000 people that are going to make the decision for United States Senate in the state of Illinois, which has nearly 13 million. 500,000 are going to make the decision. So if you tell 10 people, and they tell 10 people, or we get some more people involved, we have a chance for what they're saying will be a red wave. June 28th, Matt Dubiel for United States Senate. Thank you once again to Paulina for putting this together and for this tremendous work. And the Elvis League. Thank you. Thank you for taking care of business. Thank you very much. Thank you for supporting us. And thank you. Please tell your friends about Matt Dubiel for United States Senate. I appreciate it. Thank you.
For Matt Dubiel also. And I will support him.
I grew up in Illinois. One of my best memories is listening to the radio on the way to go fishing in Braidwood with my dad. Today, I'm a dad, and I work in radio. I met my wife Michelle here in Woodridge at a restaurant we both worked at, and now we have 4 kids of our own. And we take them that same ride down I-55 to go fishing. There's one big thing that changes when we grow up and have kids: priorities. The country we grew up in was patriotic. The playbook for the American dream was clear. Go to school, get good grades, go to college, follow the golden rule, get a job, buy a house, get married, and raise a family. But it hasn't quite worked out that way. Today, criminals are the ones who are rewarded instead of achievers. Our college graduates are working as baristas, while our trades can't find enough qualified workers. Our children are taught critical race theory and early alt-sex ed while being told 2 + 2 = 5. Our government is printing and spending money, resulting in massive inflation. And the internet, which was supposed to liberate people with information, is instead being used to track and silence Americans. The truth is, America has the wrong priorities. It's up to us to get America back on track again. Because we're up against a media that lies to us, schools that teach our kids to hate themselves and our country, and corporations that have gotten so wealthy and powerful, they think they're in charge. It's time to put America first, protect our children, support parents, restore law, order, and common sense, and secure our border once and for all. Instead of pretending we can somehow fix the rest of the world, we've got to get back to our Constitution and what it stands for. We, the people. My name is Matt Dubiel. I'm running to represent Illinois in the United States Senate. Because if we want our kids and grandkids to know the joy of freedom in the USA, we need the right priorities. I hope you'll join me. Okay, Patriot, it's Matt Dubiel, and there are 3 things we need every American patriot to do right now to help secure America, fix our border, fix our economy, and restore common sense in our schools and across the country, starting with here in Illinois. Thing number 1 to do, please take a moment to take out your phone, text, call, or email. Probably texting is the easiest. Text everybody you know. Text 100 to 200 people you know and ask them to find out more about Matt Dubiel. Send them one of my YouTube videos. Send them one of my Facebook videos. Send them something that got through to you that made you say, yep, this guy is the real deal. So that's thing number 1. Reach out and use your phone to reach everyone you know. Thing number 2, go to dubielforsenate.com. Dubiel, D-U-B-I-E-L, for senate.com. And please follow, share, and consider donating to our campaign for yard signs, media, materials, staff, whatever you can do. Thing number 3, get in and vote. Vote on June 28th and vote for the America First Patriot candidates in every race, starting with United States Senate and Matt Dubiel on down the ticket, because we need to fix Illinois. We need to fix America, and we can do it together. You have the power. We, the people, have the power. I'm Matt Dubiel, and I approve this message, and I can't wait to represent you in D.C. and here at home in Illinois. Thank you for your support.